Yeah. All righty, sir. I don't know if you can't give good speeches like you gave it the last time.
Oh, it was good. It was
But, you know, you're an irreplaceable person with this township. Will never be another 39-year veteran. There'll never be another Doc Wade. And we wish we would have had this obviously when we were here for the holiday party, but better late than never. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Isn't that nice? That's nice. That's nice. It sure is. The chief's got something else to do too.
Mary, can you take?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I got this.
A little shadow box together for you with your ribbons, everything you've earned in the time you've been here. I think there's more stars. We just couldn't fit them in there. Your ID, I'd like to give that to you. I'm honored and proud to give this to you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Like I said,
Well earned, well deserved.
I've had a good time up here. And everybody's been really nice to me, man. I really appreciate that. Again, thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah.
Can we get pictures with all the trustees first, Steve, and then we'll put you and then
Snap some pictures.
everybody. Oh, it's okay because I'm gonna get your picture next.
You need to be up there.
No, right.
Didn't administrator be up there?
All right, y'all.
The police needs to get there.
Well, I'm not saying. She could.
Okay.
She
All
won't.
right, guys.
Now you go up. You have to go
Yeah, your
up.
turn.
We all?
Yes.
Today, and today. What's he doing? I'm missing out on all this stuff. Very cool.
All right. Okay.
Okay, I missed. Oh, good. You're gonna Photoshop and I have a request.
Very good.
Yeah, we got some pictures on there for you. I snapped some, Miss Beth snapped some.
And I have some. So.
I'm gonna put this one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic. One nation under God.
Good night, everyone. Thanks.
Good night. Yeah.
Before you is two sets of minutes, one for the organizational session minutes of January 4th, for a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Vote?
Yeah.
Yes. The second is the regular session minutes of January the 4th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion as well.
Second.
Vote?
Yes.
Yes. So before we get to public comment here, we do have a guest. I'm not sure, Michael, what your schedule is, but we're gonna have you come up. Michael is with American Electric Power and he is external affairs manager. So.
Well, thanks for having me. I didn't think I was going to get a speaking piece, but I'll just
Oh,
keep it short. Michael Scola is my name. I'm an external affairs manager for AEP Ohio. And one of my roles is I have different community relationships responsibilities to keep the communities that are, under my responsibility informed, aware, establish relationships. So if you need anything from us, we need anything from you, you know who to talk to, you know who to call. I'm trying to keep you informed with storms and whatnot. Have you been getting all of
Yeah, I
my?
do. Appreciate that.
So I get weather alerts from our meteorologists. I forward those to, I think I may only have a couple of you.
We're gonna get all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That will help me.
Yeah.
I, try to inform you of what our information we can provide when a storm's coming, cold weather, windy weather, snow, ice, sleet, whatever. It's an information, it's a communication. And you were talking about this, how cold it was over Christmas. Well, I had to give up 2 days of vacation and I had to work on Christmas Eve because we had to be on call for whatever might have come. We were pretty close to meeting capacity there. And if we didn't get some of the curtailment that we got voluntarily from some of our larger customers, we might have had some issues with brownouts or something like that. But it's just nice to meet you all. Beth, I told my wife that was the warmest welcome I've ever got
Oh.
to a council meeting or a board of trustees meeting. You were very nice, very kind to invite me. So I've got some business cards I'll give you all. And like I said, face with the name. If you need anything from us, we have relationships with Dublin as well. But, I'm learning more about townships and how they operate and how different they are. So this is just a learning experience for me and I appreciate you having me.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming.
Well, first of all, townships are better. And I know, Michael, that, and we get a lot of calls from residents if their electric is out. I mean, you're gonna remain the point of contact if we can get some additional information.
Yeah,
about
when you're working with outages, if you have issues or concerns, if you have one customer out, or it's sometimes hard to pinpoint what's going on, but if we have circuits out or if we know an estimated time of restoration, there's more information that I can provide to you all for you to provide to your residents. There's outage alerts, there's online tools that you can use, customers can use to find out more about their electricity bill, their usage, and outages as well. So we can start this relationship and I can provide some of that information to you going forward.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Our power, Worthington Hills part went out, I don't know if anybody else is affected, last week, maybe 10 days ago. And we got the email from you guys. But there's a lot, I don't know if you have an email for every customer, probably not.
No, we don't. And we would like only about 15, 18% of our customers are even getting the outage alert.
But
It's something you have to sign up
spot
for. It's something you have to sign up for. We can't push alerts to customers who don't give us permission to, or that we don't have email addresses on them. And some of the stuff that I've been dealing with up in this area of the county is, tree trimming. When we had the big storm in June, our transmission folks went out and started trimming trees like crazy. And I know Liberty Township, they were upset, that Wedgewood community. It's not always, okay, so what I have to bring to you, what I have to talk to you about, you're not always gonna be happy with me. And but that's just the way it goes.
We haven't had, Worthington Hills had power outages for a long time. We haven't, I remember a couple people had generators. It was after that big July 4th one. We haven't really had a significant one since, but this one was caused apparently by an accident or a tree or something. We were out, my wife and I were like, oh, we got an email like at 1 o'clock, and said it'll be restored by like 4:30, and by 3:30 it was restored. But maybe that's something we include like in the newsletter or something.
And I was just thinking that, so we have a pretty good database. We work with our civic associations and the homeowners associations, and we share information. And because we have to constantly, as you do, maintain our database. Our line of communication with our residents is extremely important. So maybe it's something that you can work with our PIO on. Maybe a message goes out and says, if you want to sign up for this service, here's a link or whatever, maybe we can push them towards, you to say, hey, we'd like to get that information.
We'd like more people to sign up. You must have, or your wife must have signed up along the way somewhere to get those emails, because it doesn't go to all customers, I can assure you of that.
Well, like I said.
Yeah, I get them. They have been very helpful, and you're right, they have been spot on. I mean, when we've had it for a while there in Brookside, we were having a lot of outages, and it has, I feel like I need to knock on wood when I say this, but we haven't as of late. But it's helpful. I mean, it keeps folks informed, and we do try to share that information in our civic web pages too. So we can share the link there too.
Okay, for sure.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Deputy.
As per usual, I'm just here so you guys can see my handsome face.
That beer.
I can kind of make you chuckle every once in a while, so nothing really going on. For me, I've just been dealing with some nuisance issues in some other townships and things like that, but the county, I know we've got a couple big crashes, we had a deputy, an off-duty deputy involved in a crash this morning, Clinton Township was involved in a chase, and so. One of our off-duty deputies was heading to, his work site and ended up striking one of the individuals out of the car chase that took off on foot. So, but other than that, I mean, as per usual, thefts, vehicle thefts, we're still seeing a lot of the Kias and Hyundais, especially down on the west side area and over even out in the Morse Road area, so trying to just work on that, but other than that, not a whole lot. Do you guys have anything?
Yes, are you coming to the county?
I will be there tomorrow night.
You might be able to pick up some felons over at the casino while you're there.
Oh,
So.
that's a given. I mean, that was my honey hole when on patrol. So, but yeah, no, I'll be there tomorrow night. And then Deputy Upton, who works our zone 2, which is in Glendon Township, Jefferson Township. There are 2 other guys that they work more of the southern part of the county. They had other engagements that we weren't able to do. So yeah, Deputy Upton, I'll be there tomorrow night. Excited, looking forward to it. So
Good deal.
I'll be there. So you guys don't have anything else for me? I'm gonna go see if I can wrangle a 2-year-old. Give him a bat.
Felons are probably easier.
You're all the way down Prairie Township.
Of Franklin County. So yeah, I'm the community liaison for the townships. I have six townships that I affiliate with.
Okay.
Perry, Sharon, and then as it goes down, Washington, Norwich, Brown, and Prairie. So
I'm trying to figure out how these townships intersect, and there's multiple townships per county.
Invite them to the meetings.
We're still trying to figure that out too.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a good meeting.
Hey, take care.
Tomorrow night. Yep,
Thank you.
absolutely.
So continuing on, public comment, Brookside?
Nothing new to report. We're just getting into the process of planning for events and everything this year. Our dues drive is going. Beth, I talked to Ian today because we actually have 2 lights on AEP poles that are out in the neighborhood. And so he said he was gonna put a work order in. So since you're here, apparently they've been out for some time, or the pole was replaced. I don't know, and the light didn't get reconnected. I'm not sure, but
Is that on McVeigh?
one at McVeigh and 161, and then one at McVeigh and McVeigh West. So he wasn't sure if these were poles that we get the statements for or not. Mary, who's gonna check.
I don't know that we have a way to tell which streetlights.
But either way, we can get the work order in.
Yeah.
Or
Or we can,
When you say work order, is that with your organization? or with
no,
us?
that was, he said he was gonna reach out to a.
so our road superintendent. would be doing
Yes,
that.
yes.
So he may want to copy you on it anyway, just so there's a connection.
Okay,
Well, and I can email you the locations if you need that.
Then we can give you an account number for a streetlight bill.
Yeah.
are you comfortable with your streetlight bills and accuracy and whatnot? The number, the count, that kind of stuff?
Can you make it free?
Yeah.
We've done some, we don't call them audits, we call them engineering studies with different communities, and we find that sometimes they're off. Sometimes they're off in favor of the community, sometimes they're off in our favor. We're billing you for lights that aren't ours or vice versa. It's a constant struggle because lights go up and lights come down, and it's an inventory issue sometimes.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure that we would know if we have the right lights on our invoice or not.
We can send you a copy of the invoice,
Yeah.
because from when I used to do the bills, there was just one on McVeigh that we were billed for, and that very well changed over the years. But, and then one at the cemetery.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had one, so, but we'll double check, and I'll
Okay.
just, one of us will email you,
Okay.
and, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Worthington Hills. I missed their meeting the other night. They too are just basically planning for 2023. I think there is a community breakfast that township staff are invited to. I believe it's on March the 4th, which is a Saturday from 10 to noon at Worthington Hills Country Club. It'd be a good opportunity if we have a couple representatives to attend that. Just to say hello to residents and take questions and that kind of thing, so. I'll have Matt send something formally.
Okay.
You guys. Epcon Ravello, anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Zoning.
Joe and I are still plowing through his red lines. We should have something by the next meeting for everybody after we've gone through that. He's been out of the office on business, so we haven't been able to meet as much as we want.
Can we authorize, once you're done, as caveat, basically, when you're okay with it, for her to move forward with Jen on that?
Yeah,
With your-
we've already talked to Jen about
Okay.
like when we're chatting with stuff, like she already knows that we're kind of going through it and as we have questions, so. Yeah, but at some point we'll be able to give everything to her, but I don't think we're.
Do you have to go ahead once
They're done.
once they're done?
Okay.
Anything else? What's the, any update on Brookside? I got asked that question right
Oh, and the golf club? Or the
Jack
other
Reynolds
thing?
asked me the other day, and I said, Jack had no idea.
We haven't heard anything on it. We haven't heard anything on Harrison either,
Okay.
so. I can reach out, I'll reach out to,
I knew Henderson Road is working with the county on including the one parcel, that middle parcel
right,
in the county city sewer contract. That's what they're working through, the county prosecutors office. Road department,
Oh, excuse me,
Yeah.
can I back up to zoning a little bit? As you all know, a member of the Citizen Advisory Board had to step down. And we have a gentleman set up as an alternate. And he would like to take that member position. His name is Travis Goodman, so I'd like to get a motion to appoint him to the Citizen Advisory Board, please.
I moved to appoint Travis Goodman as a full member of the Civilian Advisory Board.
Second,
vote,
yes.
Yes.
sorry, yes.
Does the question, does that still balance
Yes,
Probably.
okay, well,
Road department, this is a second reading for the purchase of a generator. The superintendent is out this evening on a personal matter. This is what we've talked about in regards to the new gas power generator, natural gas, including the transfer switches. Are we still good with this? We had a presentation last. I look for a motion to, it's a road department, I'm sorry. Then I move to approve or authorize the funding in the amount of $69,536 for the purchase of a generator system, which would include the purchase of transfer switches. And I so moved.
Second,
Vote?
Yeah.
Yes. That's all I had on the road department. Fire EMS.
First off, I don't know if you're aware, I was telling our administrator, Chief Craig, this is Chief Craig. The reason we didn't get fire reports from Worthington, he was off injured for the last few months. He's recovering, had to have emergency surgery and injured himself. So with that said, I talked to him today. I have a report for Worthington from Worthington Fire for December. We had 20 runs in December. And he said, just so we know, on an average, he said every month for the past 4 years, we average between 17 and 22 calls for service on an average. He said it's never gone lower and it's never gone higher in 4 years. So that's just a steady average, 17 to 22. So last month we're 20.
Okay.
Upper Arlington had 11 calls for service. 4 of those were at Epcot in the month of December.
Really? Anything else on fire EMS? Keith, I'm sorry. I digress. How are things going with the job?
It's fine. In fact, I had a conversation with John today and down in Florida to run me through some steps that he
How's he
takes.
doing down in Florida?
He's doing well.
I bet he is.
He said it was 78 and he was enjoying it and all that. So, but I had him run me through some steps with the new builds at Ravello and just try, he's available. I check in with him if need be, but I'm learning and I think we're doing okay.
He's gotten off to a really great start, so. I think things are gonna work
I'm
quite
enjoying
nicely.
it.
Good.
And I'm learning the neighborhoods.
There you
You know, I was more familiar with the Worthington Hills than I was with Brookside Estates, but I'm getting out and learning the neighborhood and stuff.
Good.
It's enjoyable.
Well, the Epcon's the one I'm still learning, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for, is it Colony Way is the one that?
Yeah.
we're having an issue, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you for.
So I'm due to re-inspect that next week and just see if anything's been done on
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Chief,
Oh, no. I didn't have anything else for fire.
nothing? Oh, please, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm pl-
If you have nothing, we're good.
I was testing you, Mr. Chairman. Old business, a couple things. One is, as you know, we work with Worthington Schools trying to work out the whole thing with cameras. I had a conversation with our administrator today to let her know there has been no movement. They're still waiting for installations and some other things. And Umad and Think CSC will be the point of contact in the beginning because he will have to make sure software and whatever else they need access to works, because that's a language I don't speak. So he'll deal with that. The other thing is we're working too, and I don't remember, it's been probably 4 years ago, we had a body armor grant. A few years ago, we were informed that there's still money there and we're in the process of looking into that again. There's still money in our body armor grant fund. Lieutenant Conkle has been working on that. I think we're due to replace the rest of our body armor this year because we split it up over 2 years. And if we understand this correctly, we'll be able to get one more cycle. There's enough money. We can probably do this again in 5 years with the money out of the grant. So it's a 75-25. They pay 75%, we pay 25%. But I hope to have numbers here in the next couple of weeks for that. Also, the first reading on a request for drone. I guess, is there any questions?
Yeah,
Yes.
I know business. How's the tasers or the, no, the body worn camera.
So PAR was here today. They have gotten all of, let me rephrase it, they've gotten half our fleet converted over with installation for the sync of the body camera and our cruiser cameras. They're coming tomorrow to finish the rest of the cars. We just talked to Buckeye Datacom. They have to come out to our police building to run wiring. The access point, they have to install 2 antennas on our building for access points so everything can download. I think everything will start moving probably next week on some of the installation. And then it's, we're still, as of today, our deployment date is still March 8th. So we're still on schedule.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Any other questions?
Drone.
What's that? Drone? Yeah, again, any questions about the drone as far as what we're looking for, what we're looking to do? The reason I didn't do 3 quotes, speaking to Officer Roberts or Detective Roberts at this point, he had donated a drone to us. And this is a updated version and it's very specific to what we're looking for. So I didn't do 3. This company is one of the few companies that handles this drone. So instead of doing 3, I went with 1. So I don't know if there's any questions about it, what we're looking for. It's I may have explained for it. If I did, I apologize. We had several events that we used it at this year. Detective Roberts was called out a few times on a couple of different things that we've had. He also had 1 or 2 calls from mutual aid for the drone. We use it at any of our events here in the community. We'll use it for any time there's, endangered, missing, so forth. It can also be used, we're working on our traffic unit. The deputy mayor's not here, but the sheriff's office is short on some resources at times for helping us with some other things. So the drone will work as far as traffic crash and also work with crime scene. So kind of a multi-purpose tool.
So, Chief, the only couple of questions.
Yes.
Number 1 was, you had talked last time that some of the officers are gonna get trained in that.
Yes.
All right. So what's the cost for training and then what's the, because it's my understanding that drone, you have to become basically a pilot.
Yeah, so
So what's the cost, what's long-term cost in terms of becoming a pilot, training, and then keeping that license?
the training is something that Detective Roberts can do. He can train everybody. And technically, you don't have to have a separate license, a pilot's license, what they call it, expert guild classes. You don't have to have a separate license as long as Detective Roberts is overseeing it. If he trains any of us, he can be the licensed pilot and we can control it as long as he's there.
Right.
But given his hours and circumstance, we want to hear, so it's about $200 per officer to, the training's free. Detective Roberts can do the training. To certify as a pilot, it's about $200 per officer. The recertification, same thing. I think the recertification is about 125. I don't remember how many years it is.
Okay.
So,
And then can you talk to me about, like, I know one of the things that we talked about is events, like
Yes.
what are you using for, like, the events? And what
So,
events are we talking about?
we use it for 4th of July, Beggars Night, Family Fun Night, any of the events that gives us, for lack of a better term, a bird's eye view of whatever we're working at that time.
Okay,
5K run, if we have a 5K run in Worthington Hills, we'll always pull it out, kind of fly the course. We can also use it for zoning, road, or anything, any of those things. If somebody calls, if I needs to see something, if Keith will call, say, hey, can you do this? It also has a feature where it can, with the crime scene and traffic crash, it'll actually map out an area for you, so we could do crime scene traffic crash as well.
so I guess the question is, since this is like, and then, you know, because in your, strategic plan,
Yes,
it wasn't identified, but if this is a township kind of use thing, should your budget shoulder all the cost of it, or should it be spread out over road, police, and just in general, you know, so you guys aren't shouldering the entire cost of it?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I guess from my standpoint, we're going to use the majority of the time. The goal is to make sure it's always on duty. If that makes sense, there's always someone here that can fly it. I feel like we'll use it majority of the time. So if it's split, I guess we would have the lion's share either way, because I feel like we're gonna be the ones using it more.
This is your opportunity, since Ian isn't here, to say,
Right,
yeah. it should
right.
have been in the
I'm sorry.
financial-
I'm okay with 90-10. Ian gets 90 and we get 10. I'm okay with that. No problem.
So could we use the drone for zoning purposes? I mean,
Yes,
You mean like
Like-
for oversight of a person's property?
yes, I mean, if there was something that needed
I mean, there,
documentation of.
yeah, you can use it for things like that. And again, I use it as Petrosi. We had Carl fly over the property on Riverside Drive from the fire, and to get some pictures there. The fire marshals asked us to bring the drone as well when they're during their investigation. So there's multiple things it could be used for.
So there isn't, because this is totally
That's
foreign to me,
huge.
there isn't any, you know, hypothetically, you need to cite my property because of something, and you can use pictures from the drone, like there isn't any sort of legal question or issue.
Sort of
with
Big
that.
Brother looking at above, from above type of thing.
I want an inventory of everybody's trash cans. Properly shielded.
So Friday, I
It'll
was
take
just
insurance.
I'm thinking if we make my position full-time, I can do the inventory for all the telephone poles, lights and trash cans.
and I'm asking, I truly just don't
No,
know.
no,
I'm
there's
asking the
no
question.
issues at this point. There is a right to privacy, but I think it's something that if Keith would ask if we could fly over a house, I think we could discuss what we're looking at that point. Because even though there might not be a legal issue, sometimes it's not best practice for the township to do something like that either. So, and I'll be honest, it was foreign to me until Detective Roberts got here, donated the drone, because they said, I don't know if we were gonna use it, but it is somewhat shocking to me how many times we've used it, the times we've been asked to bring it out, the times that we've actually been asked to bring it out because we had something going on here. So there was a time I would have said that, no, but at this point, I see a need for it, that we can definitely use it. I see a need and a want, if that makes sense, because there's a few times that we need it. I'm sure, and I'll be upfront, we could probably call a neighboring agency, but again, we look at the same thing. We're trying to get resources when we work on something. They're not available because everybody's shorthanded. So I look at it as I want to be self-sufficient. So,
When you ask a neighboring agency for a drone,
yes,
is there a charge associated with that?
no,
Okay.
And then, so then if they ask for your help, we also do not bill for them.
no, we don't charge them.
Yeah.
That's all covered under mutual aid.
Yeah, mutual aid thing. Can Detective Roberts come at the next meeting, the second reading?
I wouldn't see why not.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll have-
maybe give us a visual of what we're looking at. And
Yes.
its capability. Specification.
yeah, he speaks German, I don't.
I know.
I'll be honest, so.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Chief.
One other thing, I'm sure we've all heard of the cruiser car shortage and different things, kind of what we're doing with the cars we ordered last year. We were informed this week, one of the folks from, I apologize. They informed us that we will probably have a 24-hour window to order cars if we need them. They canceled orders. We were informed the 2 cars we ordered last year, we were going to get, but they canceled almost 12,000 orders from last year. So they're going to open the banks again. And what we're being told is Ford and Chevy are not going to do state bid pricing. Now, Chevy has not officially said that. They did state bid pricing last year, but Ford has said they're not doing state bid pricing anymore. So there's also the possibility that Ford may change their body style again. If they do, and that's the whole thing. If they do, I will probably look at Chevy at that point. We talked to a Chevy rep who said they are not looking to change body style, interior wise for several years. Talking to a couple other chiefs that have Chevys, they said their equipment rolls year after year. Of all the body style changes, interior dimensions haven't. So again, it's a little frustrating. So what I'm asking for is I don't know if I need a purchase order, but I need approval that.
You don't need a purchase order yet, right? No.
You're right. I just need approval to be able. Yeah, we don't have an amount because we don't know what's gonna cost. We just have to be able to get in line when those banks open. So, and I'm not sure exactly what we need.
You
So
need authorization.
need authorization to make it, yeah, yeah,
They want a letter of intent.
yeah, I think
Oh,
it's basically.
okay,
that's all.
Yeah, because now last year we had to have a purchase order when the time came, but they gave us pricing up front. They have not given us pricing at this point. They're just telling us you're gonna have a 24-hour window to make your order. And
So
again,
your request then is a motion to enter into a letter of intent to
Correct.
purchase 2 vehicles.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to give the chief approval to start the process of ordering cruisers for purchase in 2024.
Second. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
thank you. That's all I have.
Madam Administrator.
Okay, under my old business, I'm gonna jump right straight to the inventory program, for second reading. We're recommending to approve, or requesting approval to purchase from Nova Solutions, at an initial cost of $10,395 with an annual fee thereafter. $6,945. This program will take care of keeping track of all of our inventory on site, as well as iron stop signs, storm sewers, the chief's fleet and that sort of thing. And we had 2 other bids which were significantly higher. But we are required by ORC to maintain a good inventory and given all the computer equipment and everything that's accumulated over the years. And it will also help us with our budgeting and keeping track of end of life.
I'll make the motion to approve Novo Solutions at a cost of $10,395 with an annual fee of $6,945 after.
Second, vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This is also the second reading, the security cameras on property to replace these. The recommendation is to purchase cameras from Corcom at a cost of $11,410.41, and the installation from Buckeye Datacom at a cost of $6,476.50. As I said before, our current cameras are 10 to 15 years old, and many were purchased as refurbished cameras back in the day. We also need to have cameras focused on certain areas of the property, especially when there's exchanges. I know you're all aware that there's been issues back at the police, children exchanges and that sort of thing. So did you all see, there was a question of why a server versus going to the cloud? Did you all get that response? Okay.
This is from ARP funds.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, it's, this will be paid for through the American Rescue Act funds. I confirmed that with the township's attorney.
Even better.
Right.
I'll make a motion to purchase cameras from Corcom at the cost of $11,410.41. And the installation from Buckeye Datacom at the cost of $6,476.50.
Oh, go ahead.
Second.
Vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Under my new business, Chet, would you like to explain this?
So, as I mentioned earlier, we have property owners, back in the township, this is Sawmill Road, property. Raised the issue about a water sewer district boards. I know had talked about, wouldn't it be cheaper if we attach to Sharon Township's, district, existing district. And that's the conversation. John Albers is the one that set that up. And this is just an exploratory conversation with him about time frame, cost, and things before we go into that step one. So this is a pre-meeting, so to speak, but we would need to do an engagement letter, and attach an amount to it up to a certain point. I will add that we probably need to kind of start thinking about Henderson Heights area and Larkstone area, which do not have infrastructure for water or sewer down there. And there's got to be a mechanism in which to provide that infrastructure. And a district would be a vehicle for that. But I don't know what that looks like.
So was that, but didn't, and I'm kind of recall, but wasn't that part of the agreement with Columbus?
Yeah,
They would
but
provide
we don't
that.
have yeah, they wouldn't provide the infrastructure.
Oh,
They'll
they
provide the
would.
service once the infrastructure exists.
Okay,
If the lines are run, they will, and of course, they'll charge us for tap empty, I'm sure.
sure.
But they will provide the service once the infrastructure exists. Right
Okay.
now, nothing exists there. And residents are continuing to ask about that because we had told them they were part of the agreement,
Right.
but we also said with the caveat that you have infrastructure.
So this is basically his time and effort to research what it would take to add us to, or what it would take to add us to the existing Sharon Township.
Right.
Water and sewer district. All right, cool.
But
No,
I moved to retain the firm of Albers and Albers, fee not to exceed $5,000. And give the administrator authorization to sign the engagement letter.
second,
Vote?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I verified with Chief Zambito that they're very willing to let us use their facility for the Board of Trustee meeting on February 22nd at the firehouse. That would also include a tour through the entire firehouse, which Mr. Roper and I went on a few years ago. So that being said, that night, there's going to be speakers in here about the flock camera. So they will, just to give you an FYI, they will both be there to answer any questions you might have about that. The next meeting will be here on site. We are going to have, I can't remember her last name, Becky
Principal.
Prince Warren. She is the person who is most knowledgeable, more knowledgeable about the whole HB 140, which deals with the levies. So she'll be giving the board a brief overview of that, the changes and the concerns, and answer any questions y'all might have. See, the approval, we have revised the township's credit card policy in part because number one, we're changing to Huntington Bank with a higher limit. Also, we've had personnel changes. So that was in your packet. Are there any questions at all? It identifies the users and so on and so forth. So, and limits. So in that case, I would like approval of the township's credit card policy for 2023.
I'll make that motion.
Second, vote,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you. Luke has asked to schedule a records commission meeting for the chair and fiscal officer. That can be done just before a meeting. Are there any?
Yeah, the next meeting.
Could it be at the next meeting? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do that then.
Yeah.
Mary, would you like to explain the Zoom app?
I'll explain what I know about it.
Okay.
So, HR Butler is making that available to our employees to download this app. And they can use it to get an advance on their paycheck. And the employee signs up with the Zayzoon. And then Zayzoon uses their authorization to go to HR Butler, who then releases their information, the information that Zayzoon needs to determine how much money they can loan them. So,
To be quite honest, neither Mary or I are very comfortable with this. But given that it is going to impact all the employees, we wanted to get the board's thoughts on this.
yeah, HR Butler assured me that they would only release the information that after they had authorization from the employee, that it wouldn't be everybody's information that they would release. But we have to opt
I'm
out.
guessing there's obviously some sort of fee to the employee for the advance.
Apparently it's $5, one-time fee of $5. That's what they're saying. That's what I read.
Who wants this?
Yeah.
Well, I think HR Butler must be making a little bit of money
On the side.
offering it to.
This sounds like one of those like paycheck stores where you would. go
And-
in and-
That's what it is.
That's
That's exactly what
That's
it
what
is.
it sounds
It's just
like.
digital now.
Like that's even in the middle.
Yeah.
Why are we in the middle of that?
Yeah.
Well, because we employ our Butler and
But we don't have to.
no, we have to opt out. And
Okay.
that's why we want to
Well,
run it by you guys. We
Okay,
want to
we
opt
just
out.
wanted
without
to
talking
make
to
sure you
Yeah,
folks
this
are all
is
good
not
with this.
something
Yeah.
Tell us.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else? That pretty
Sleep better now.
Yeah.
And unless y'all have any questions, I think I'm done.
It's an interesting one to not a fan of the you have to opt out, but we're going to, the default would be that they get to.
Yeah,
look into
wouldn't it be
employees. Gotta
opted in?
say,
Right.
They considered it an update.
mm,
That's
No, okay.
That's
No.
called technicality.
All right,
why. You
great.
say they're a
Okay.
counselor.
No.
Okay, so, and I apologize, today was crazy, so I didn't get to ask you about this early, but on the fiscal officer agenda. It's about the establishment of the fund. Do we have to have paid out those funds in order to receive the grant, or?
For the
It's a
reimbursement.
reimbursement.
Yeah, it's reimbursement.
Okay, so we cannot get the grant monies and then pay directly out of that. We
Pay-
can't get the grant monies
pay
first
when you
and then
pay.
pay when we get the money.
I don't-
No,
We have to do it and then
Yes.
submit the documentation for reimbursement.
yes,
Right.
Okay.
yes.
And this is how most of the.
Yeah,
grants
I just
work,
wanted to-
unfortunately.
What's the time frame from the time that it gets paid out to the time you
That's
get?
a good question.
Um,
They're,
It can vary.
you know,
and
we're talking
it's
about.
Like sometimes it comes
the
back
state.
like quickly. and
What's
other
like,
times
what's
it's-
like the ball, like, what's a big ballpark?
Is this federal money or state money?
I think it's federal.
Well,
money.
it's
It's
federal
our
money
money
that went to
through-
the state.
Yeah.
To distribute.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're, the state's the designee.
Yes.
Yes,
They got federal money.
yes.
Yes.
It may take a while.
So
We don't-
define
we
what, so
don't-
like
The
6
state
months,
does
8
not have
months?
access to that money right away.
If I had to guess, I would say 6 months or less. Like our JAG grants, those sorts of things tend to come back very, very quickly. This is kind of a evolving.
Yeah.
So you don't think they have the money yet?
They don't have the money.
Okay.
The feds don't give that much. It's almost like a sub-grantee, the state is.
Right.
Okay.
So they gotta submit documentation and a request to the feds, and the feds have to do whatever they do on their end to issue a check to the state, who then issues you a check. That's why nobody likes federal grant. I mean, it sounds like we're going through this again. Nobody, it's a lot of money, it looks like it, but it's not a lot of money, and it's a lot more work than it's worth. That's what I keep saying about federal grants. It's gonna be some time. And let's hope Congress doesn't do something goofy like shut down the government, okay? And then that adds some more time, so. Because I'm sure that's considered discretionary funds to them,
And how does, how does this impact our current general fund? I mean, is it something that we can go 6? I
We
mean,
can,
assume like
we
a year?
can. I mean, so I guess the only, when you say that, then if they've already issued the grant,
and.
they rescind, hypothetically, we pay the money,
Mhm.
they rescind the grant? Is that what you're,
No, I'm just saying that
that it could just get tied up?
it could get tied
It
up.
gets.
It's not like we're gonna be, it's not like, hey, we're gonna do it and get it and then find out.
No, you're
guess
not gonna
what?
do it.
No.
The feds will always come through. It's just a
It's
matter of.
a
how
matter of
long it
playing
takes
through the
for them to
game.
come through.
I just wanted.
No,
When you
no,
like
I-
said that, I was like, hang on.
No,
minute.
we have a
Just
contract, or we should have an agreement with state, do we not? In our
Well,
grant agreement?
We have a grant.
Okay,
application
and
that
they have a master agreement with the
An
feds.
approved grant application.
Right.
Yes. the issue
So,
grant.
yeah,
Okay.
they'll get the money,
Okay.
it's just how long it takes.
I read too much into.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we have an award letter.
Yes, thank
So-
you.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I request a motion to approve the creation of Fund 2913 for Police Retention Grant 2022 AR LEP 0160X.
I'll make that motion.
Second vote,
Yes.
Yes.
Related, request approval to advance funds from the general fund in the amount of $100,840.50 to Fund 2913 to be reimbursed by the grant payment.
Which we have an approval letter.
Yes.
Okay.
We do.
Yes.
I'm only kidding, only kidding.
I'll make that.
second vote.
Send my request.
Marcus, we got him.
To be reduced by the amount equivalent to.
From Chief Cicero's.
That's right, yeah.
Zoom can get you this money.
I was all ready to go, man, all tonight.
Very good.
Think the funniest country up there.
I'll make that motion.
Second vote,
Yes.
yes. Okay, anything else to go to the order? Nothing? Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Second. Vote?
Yes.
Yes.